'Cause the writings on the wall. Yes, it was, Sam Smith. Yes, it was. You know, after seeing photos, posters, trailers, images, scenes, there was absolutely nothing that made me think for 1 second that this would be any good. But I'm a big fan of the Resident Evil franchise and I like to give things a fair chance. So, being the connoisseur of the arts that I am, I said fuck it. How bad can it be?
And you know, last year we were voted best place to live in the world.
By who? Lululemon whores? Guys that jerk off to CrossFit? Elon Musk?
Well, as it turns out, pretty fucking bad. And before we even start, be aware that this is not a review of the full season because I watched 1.5 episodes of it, and fuck me if I'm going to waste another minute of my life on this shit. So, as my friend Sam said back there, it really was, since this photo came out and it was announced that Lance Reddick would be Wesker and this was the main cast. And the problem has nothing to do with them race swapping Wesker. Lance Reddick is a great actor and would be a great Wesker. What was actually concerning is that a cast like that, on the bizarro world we're living in, where people who are paid to tell stories worry about everything but telling a good story, comes with all sorts of meanings and implications about what they're really focusing on the show. And I'll give you a hint, it's not the story and it's not the characters. So, we start our great adventure with Jade Wesker with a nice hairdo among the ruins of a destroyed London in 2036. She gives exposition about how the world ended and then proceeds to wish happy birthday to her daughter, which she left with her presumably stay-at-home husband because subversion, to seemingly risk her life experimenting on zombies. And I can't say or stress the words presumably and seemingly enough because the subversion is strong with this one, as we'll see going forward. She then sprays some zombie repellent on, takes a rabbit, and goes on with her experiment, but oh no, she cut herself, and run Jade, run, oh no. But then everything is solved once these fire things just annihilate all the zombies. All 500 of them. And remember that Mr. Andrew Dabb said the show would raise all kinds of questions? Well, I gotta hand it to you, Mr. Dabb, because I already have my first one and we haven't even reached the 10-minute mark yet. If what it takes to kill these many zombies is a little rabbit and some kind of trap, how are these zombies even a problem? How come are they even still around? So she gets up, but oh no, there's a giant monster now. Run to the sides, girl, to the sides. Don't be Charlize Theron, Jade. I'm already so invested in this. Then we cut to New Raccoon City in 2022 because this is a good name for a secure place in this universe, where they make a point of showing us that there are cameras everywhere and that this place is whitest than the actual color white and that these people in South Africa have never seen a black person in their lives. Then Jade says,
And we're in South Africa. There's only like 5 black people.
oh gee, Jade, I hadn't noticed it. I hadn't noticed it at all. Then Jade is rude to her father and the over-the-top lady that greets them. And I mean really rude. Everything in this show is turned up to 11. We then go inside and Jade continues to be rude to the lady, joking about porn 30 seconds after making a joke about jerking off in front of her father and a lady she has never met. Wesker then answers a call and we have terrible exposition dialogue with the girls. Then we go back to the future where physics don't exist and Jade is fighting a giant... She's dead, right? Then some dudes from Rage show up and, well, that was easy. They then discover she's a survivor and we go back to the past where Jade continues to be insufferable and we have more terrible exposition. Terrible exposition.
The boys were cute. Dumb, but cute.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't they be? We then see Wesker injecting himself with his daughter's blood and then we go to the cafeteria where Billy explains to Jesse Pinkman that she and Jade are twins. Look, I know it will probably be revealed at some point later that these girls were created so Wesker could use their blood, and this is the setting up for that. But my god, this dialogue is bad. Hi person I've never met in my life and fear you might judge me. That over there is my fraternal twin sister from the same father but different mother that was born at the same time as me from a surrogate. Yeah, well, nice opener, Billy. Pinkman then beats Billy and we go back to the Wesker house where Albert, the scientist, is talking about marketing and his good intentions when Jade and Billy storm into the house and Jade scolds her father and punches his tablet off the table in the middle of a meeting before telling him to go fuck himself. Whoa, hold on. Teenagers tend to defy their parents and argue a lot more, but that's not how that works. You don't joke about jerking off to embarrass your father in front of well-meaning strangers or casually throws a fuck you at your dad like that, at least not without serious consequences. And then Wesker just sits there like a moron. This goes completely against what was set up for these characters. This is supposed to be a well-educated family that lives in a high-class neighborhood. This is not a crack house. Wesker then goes up and Jade goes,
Go back to work.
and then you see Wesker just deflate. And this scene shows exactly why this was such a bad casting choice. This is not Lance Reddick. Lance Reddick can be menacing, cool, mysterious, you know, like Albert Wesker. And he can also be funny, over the top.
Don't make me put you in the fire.
But not this pitiful, pathetic loser who's being yelled at by his own teenage daughters every 5 minutes. We then go to the future for some bad cliché exposition and then back to school for some stupid kid drama. Not even teenager, kid. Then we see something about a Tijuana incident at Umbrella, and then someone fucks Jesse Pinkman up and blames it on Billy. Wesker is then summoned to the principal's office where Pinkman's father is complaining about the attack, and then Wesker comes in to defend his daughter, and what does he do? He threatens the man with his position on Umbrella, in front of the man's daughter. He threatens to leave this girl's father without a job in front of her because the girl's telling the principal his daughter beat her. And the threat's not even, I'm gonna get you fired because I can. It's like, I'm gonna tell them I'll quit if they don't fire you. Jesus, what a bitch. Umbrella's top scientist is a whiny little brat. This is not Twitter, Wesker. Canceling people or threatening them with their jobs is not even a dick move in the real world. It is a bitch move, and I don't even know if that's actually a thing. We then go back to the future for Jay to tell us why we can't kill all zombies.
It's 6 billion of them. I don't think you can kill them all.
Well, judging by the 5 million you easily dispatched in the first few minutes of the episode, I really believe you can, and really quickly. Then white dude betrays her and we go back to the past where the series makes a point that the security system at Umbrella uses both voice and facial recognition technology. Billy then goes in and we see the most shocking scene in the entire episode.
What time do you think you're making
Umbrella experiments on rabbits.
Shot!
Wait, what? Did she not know that? Well, I guess she didn't. She's a kid. Wait, but isn't she vegan? Are they not supposed to know this kind of shit? Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. And the way the scene was played, like it was some sort of big reveal. Who is this a big reveal for? Isn't it common knowledge that Big Pharma tests on animals? Well, I guess it isn't if you're a little kid. Wait, is this show for kids? We then go back to the Wesker's house where the girls devise a plan of infiltrating Umbrella by looking it up on the internet. So you have 2 teenage girls plotting to invade the biggest pharmaceutical company in the world to save rabbits because the girl's world has just been shook because she found out that the company experiments on rabbits. How fucking stupid is that? Well, I guess it isn't if you're doing a kids show. Oh, and they'll find out how to get past security cameras on the internet. Jeez. This sounds like a middle-aged man who hasn't been around a kid for the last 10 years or ever, and it's trying and failing miserably in emulating what a kid would say. These youngsters can find anything on their internet. Anyway, the girls then go to Umbrella and point a flashlight into the camera that does facial recognition, while another one films them unobstructed, and now they seem to have forgotten about the facial recognition from the previous scene because now the voice command alone opens the door. Back in the future, Fat White Dude arrives to take Jade from Fat White Dude, and this music is so over the top. And this stumble is so out of place that this has to be a kid show. A little kid show. A straight up massacre then ensues, starting with the fat bumbling idiot shooting this scavenger in the head in cold blood. The kid activists end up releasing a zombie dog from enclosure, Billy dies, and Jade jumps off the wall of the freehold. The episode ends and I thought to myself, okay, I'm done. I'm out. But then just out of morbid curiosity, I wanted to see how the girl would survive this impossible cliffhanger, and the answer is, she just does. Unharmed. Like a fucking cartoon character. She survives the fall and then the zombies take their sweet time before attacking her and she manages to hide behind some glass. Then a car comes out of the freehold.
So we can drive.
No, we really can't.
And helps her escape. So they escape in the car and the dude dies because he can't fight one zombie at a time 2 minutes after Jade went through an entire mob of them. In the past, Evelyn Marcus, the head of Umbrella, arrives at the facility to see what's going on, and we have this great dialogue between her and Wesker.
How bad is it?
How bad is what?
I wasn't bitten. It's not my blood.
Okay, then whose blood is it then?
Fire that guard.
He's new. He's gone.
Oh my god, she's so bad. I just love it that in 5 minutes, Wesker faked the entire situation and already has the answers for everything. Then the conversation completely pivots out of nowhere.
Joy? I'm right about this, Evelyn. The drug has side effects.
Side effects?
Minor side effect.
Minor side effects? The dog becoming a fucking zombie was a side effect? And this is a product that is going to consumer market and already has a commercial? Who wrote this shit? Okay, we're clearly crossing over to parody territory at this point. And then her wife, because of course she has a wife, also shows up and they get into an argument about their relationship right then and there, in the corridor, in front of everybody, in her company, that she runs. Then Wesker arrives at home, and in the future, Jade goes to Barry's house, but Barry's not there. Then she says, and they seem to be hiding for Barry, and then the lady has lots of cats, and I think the lady was hiding Barry, but Barry calls her family. Fuck, I don't care. This is a terrible show. Terrible, terrible show. The dialogue is horrible, the characters are insufferable cardboard cutouts, and everything is so over the top I can't get my head around who this was aimed at. Jade is supposed to be rebellious, so in her first scene she's joking about jerking off, and later she tells her dad to go fuck himself. Wesker is supposed to be an absent father, so he is this pathetic little man who is yelled at by his own daughters. Billy is a sensible vegan, and that's her character. Evelyn is supposed to be the villain, so she looks like a slimy businessman from the 90s. Jade from the future is a cartoon character that doesn't get hurt, and the event that triggers the plot is two little girls breaking into a big pharma company to save rabbits from the evil scientists.
What the fuck is this?
And even if you say, but Watcher, the characters are like that in the beginning, but they're going to change. Well, good luck waiting for that, because I'm not sticking around. Everything is so over the top. This is either a terribly written show aimed at adults, or a really inappropriate show aimed at children. And I honestly don't know what's worse. And on top of that, they try to be so subversive to a point that I was sure Ryan Johnson's name would come up somewhere in the credits. Seriously, they try to subvert every fucking thing on this show. And on top of all of that, there is the blatantly obvious fact that this is not in any way, shape, or form Resident Evil. And then it begs the question, why call this Resident Evil? You're just painting a target on your back. Why get the rights to the property if you're not gonna do it? This makes no sense. There is not even much to discuss or complain about here, because this is not a bad adaptation or one that doesn't do justice for the characters or something like that. It's just not Resident Evil, like at all. This is something else. This is even less Resident Evil than the Mila Jovovich movies. This is just a generic-ass, badly written CW zombie apocalypse show that happens to have some familiar names in it. And if you took those names away, it wouldn't make the slightest fucking difference. So if you don't have the characters, you don't have the stories, and you don't have the mythology, then what the fuck is even the point? Resident Evil on Netflix is not a bad adaptation. It is just not an adaptation at all. And it is so bad that you can even go like, well, if this wasn't named Resident Evil, it would be alright. No. It is fucking horrible. It is an out-of-touch dumpster fire that looks like a 90s adaptation of a video game, and that thinks we are in 2015 and wokeness and subversion are on the rise, instead of crashing and burning everything it touches like it has for the last few years. It's one of those things that I can't for the life of me understand how it was greenlit and how someone might have thought this would appeal to anyone anywhere.